Good morning. Welcome to day 17 of Momo trading in this simulator. Just as I sat down here and I moved to pull my mic over, I accidentally knocked over a glass and there's glass all over the floor. So I'm gonna check what's here and then I have to clean it up. Pop up my chat. I was rushing a little bit this morning. So quick look at the S&P 500. Looks like it bounced off 702 here. It's kind of coming back up. We have anything on the scanners this morning? We got DCX. Chinese stock, no news, low float. Kind of a garbage stock. Been selling off for a long time. It'd be an AI, but it's too expensive. HCAI. Another Chinese stock with no news. ELPW. Not really too much I'm interested in right now. Let's see if there's any 7 a.m. news, and then if there's nothing, then I have to go clean up the glass on the floor that's at my feet right now. But I'm wearing shoes. I wear sandals in the house, so not in any danger. It's just that it's not good to leave it on the floor. But yeah, tomorrow or yesterday was a small green day, so we're practically break even on the week. Since Monday was a small red day. We're kind of hoping that today's not another slow day and that the market heats up, but the scanners aren't looking very hot today. So ECX breaking through a little bit there, but I'm not really interested in it because you can see how choppy it's been. And it's a Chinese stock with no news. It's cheaper price. The daily looks terrible. So, I mean, realistically speaking, how high could this actually go? Unless we start pulling away here, we start moving very quickly, then I'm not interested. As you can see, 280 down to 270 in an instant. Just a bit too choppy. What's likely to happen with this is I get in it and then it just reverses. So I don't see anything at 7 a.m. here. I'm just gonna put on my BRB screen. Okay, I'm gonna go clean up some glass. So I'll be back. All right, I apologize for that, folks. I just can't really leave glass on the floor. So it's the way it do be. So nothing really moved while I was gone, as to be expected. We don't have anything moving today. I might have to change my assessment once again. We're back in a cold market. All right, so let's go over the open once again. The DCX is a no. Chinese stock with no news. Horrible looking daily because of all these reverse splits. We've got HCAI, low float. But it's another Chinese stock with no news that just popped up at the beginning of pre-market and has been selling off ever since. It has one sort of recent reverse split, but it's one of those pump and dump stocks. So we're not looking too good on this one either. We've got ELPW, another crappy looking stock, another Chinese stock with no news. So we have our top 3 leading gainers are all Chinese stocks with no news, with crappy looking dailies showing their pump and dump nonsense here. So there's nothing else. There's KBSX is a 20 million share float, lower price. Poet is 150 million share float. SLNH is 75 million shares, and anything lower than that on the daily scanners are all not up enough on the day. FGI, $11 stock on continuation from 5 days. So this would be the 5th or 6th day, but this is a bit higher price now. Maybe we see FGI move at some point to continue even higher, but who knows? I probably won't trade this one since it's above $10, and it feels like it's a bit of a colder market again. Looking rough today? Yeah, it's rough. I was excited for a hot market, but here we are. Not looking good. No. CA car or CAR. Ross is looking at that on his stream. Kind of interesting. It went from $100 up to $700 in the past week. What is this? Why it rallied. Oh, it's just a meme stocks are back. I don't like it when when meme stocks are back. Like the Beyond Meat stuff. There was worship a few days ago, or like a week ago too. WSHP. That was also a meme stock. I guess, I mean, technically, if you think about it, right? CAR had 9 million short interest. So the CAR on Rasa scanners have short interest ratio. No, but I mean, some of these meme stocks, they have high short interest because typically they're stocks that don't do well and have sold off for a long time. So when it gets attention, people saying that it's going to go up and up and up, suddenly the shorts get caught off guard and you go into a technical short squeeze depending on like how many days to cover. Like if this was the type of stock with short interest with like 2 weeks to cover for short interest, I mean that's why kind of similar to like how GameStop worked. GameStop people thought was just going into the dumps, but so it had super high short interest. And as a result, because the short interest ratio is so high, it took, shorts were scrambling to cover their positions, but they literally just couldn't get shares to cover. So it takes X amount of days to cover their positions. And you see squeezes like this. It is interesting. Not something that I would ever trade, but it is interesting. I mean, just imagine if you were one of the lucky few that got in on this daily pullback down here at like 145 or even before the move started. Like 86. Went up 1,000% almost. Hmm. We're just waiting for 7:30, I guess, because there's not really anything interesting. The ELO is right at this daily level. Next daily level is up at 23. 384. Hmm. The ELO is only up 7% though. It did have after hour news. 21st. No, it was 9 a.m. news. It was 9 a.m. news, but it ended up spiking at regular hours. Interesting. So this is kind of a continuation if it ends up moving at all. I guess it's just sipping coffee today. All right, 5 minutes to 7:30. Maybe I need to start finding games to play or something in between. In between. I theoretically could. I could play like Slay the Spire 2 or something in between watching the stock market on cold during cold markets because there's literally like nothing to do until 7:30. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. At least until I get more viewers in chat, then I can like just sit and chat and answer questions and stuff. But right now it's just you and me. I'll wait till 7:30 here, and then I'll see about setting up a game. If I could set it up in a way that I can watch my scanners. Yeah, whenever I see that, I'm like, it's basically time to wait around all day. Not even 50% on the highest leading gainer. Not to mention all three of our leading gainers were at the start of the morning Chinese pump and dumps. Yeah, sometimes you can just tell the start of the day that it's not worth your time. There's always tomorrow. So I'll still be hanging around putting in my time even if there's nothing all day. I still got to sit here, put in the hours even if it's fruitless, but before I started streaming, I definitely had days where I was literally just like, all right, it's like 8:30, there's nothing. I'm just going to take a nap before starting work. What do we got here? 7:30 W buy. It's a penny stock. Um I don't know what the news is on it. We got room up to 4. Might take an experimental position on this one if we hold. Took a position at 159, stop of 155. It does have news. That's his record-breaking performance. It's a little bit fluctuating, so I'm going to take a bit of profit up here. But it does seem a bit strong. The volume profile is a little bit got sellers coming out too. I'll take a little bit more profit. I'm just gonna wait around, see what it does here. See if I can keep the remainder until I get an exit indicator. I was 182. This is quite the range for a penny stock. Now we're breaking below VWAP here. I'm just gonna sell the rest, break even. $30 isn't bad for a penny. 31 bucks. So I got in at 159, which is right here. Honestly, considering this sort of pattern right here, where we have increasing volume, we have a pullback, and then we have this entry candle right here, I probably could have gotten in for the break of 150, but it was a little bit fluctuating there. I waited until we had some increasing volume, and then I confirmed as it was squeezing up here that I wanted in at 160. Some profit up here, more profit as it kind of went sideways. But I'm not including this in my metrics, this $31. Pennies are just experiments. But this is a low flow with breaking news, so it'd be the type of penny to trade if I were to trade any of them. Room up to 4. So theoretically speaking, that's my daily goal. So I could trade with full size on the next trade. What is my full size for a penny? It is 1,000 shares, but I don't know if I would want to take 1,000 shares as a starter position. Maybe I would take like 600, 750 as a starter, or maybe 500 as a starter for a penny. How many times do I need to press the button? I think Alt Q is 150, so I would need to press it 4 times to go up to max position with a penny. Or 3 times, I guess. Not exact, but considering the volume profile here, I probably wouldn't get back in anyway. I once said the same thing in Ross's chat before Spooky. I said that like I'm frustrated. I hate these cold markets because I feel like I'm sitting around and I uh can't progress because there's nothing moving. Like I'm stuck doing nothing in a rut. Someone said to me before in Ross's chat, like, what did they say exactly? They said like treat discipline, like learning discipline, as an experience in itself. because I mean, if I were to trade with real money and I wanted to make some money during a cold markets, then I would have to sit here and watch things that are like slightly moving but not interesting enough. So it's really an exercise in discipline, being able to sit here for 3 hours and not trade anything. That's the way I've tried to look at it. It is rough. Sometimes I feel like just turning it off and walking away, but they do have a point, I guess. Being able to kind of sit, pick apart what's good, what's not, even when news comes out and it pop and drops and whatnot. That's the way I've tried to look at it. So I don't know about getting back in this penny. KIDZ is also popping up, but this is the stock that moved a week or 2 weeks ago, and it wasn't very clean at all. It is an AI-ish type of headline, but it's only up 13%. High volume selling. Not really interested. You know what I'm gonna do here? I'm gonna move my scanner, as I have like almost nothing on watch. I'm gonna move my scanner up there. I have chat on my other monitor, so that's fine. Let's see if I can open up Slay the Spire. Maybe play some Slay the Spire. Settings, graphics, uh, not full screen. I'm gonna mute the volume. See if I can get game capture. Okay. So we're going to put that in the top window, and I'll get rid of it whenever I'm actually trading. So we're going to watch the scanners here on the side. Let me just double check and make sure that, yeah, we're fine still. Okay. All right, so what are we going to play? I'm not an expert at Slay the Spire, but let's try playing Defect. KIDZ is popping up with this AI headline, but I don't know. Even though it's sold off and ended up coming back up. Has significant volume, but what is my max share size for this? 125. 5-day was 205. No. I don't know if I'm interested in KIDZ. All right. Back to Slay the Spire. Okay, why is it not showing on stream? Okay, there we go. Back to this. I kind of like Meow's Fury. We could find some campfires, 3 campfires on the left side. Go down the middle route, maybe, or the question marks, the side route. I don't know how good Tesla coil is, but weak is usually pretty strong. Cards. Sunder. Try Sunder, maybe. I don't like Sword and Stone. Just get the gold. KDZ coming back up to the highs, but I'm kind of not interested in it, so we're just gonna leave it alone. Do I take a focus build or do I just take an energy build? Or just take an energy build? Vulnerables kid. If I were to trade this KIDZ, it is forming a bit of a hammer on the 5-minute and an ABCD on the 1-minute here. So a break above previous high of day might see a squeeze on it. Looks like the 5-minute ended up closing as a large doji. A bit too choppy for my taste. We'll leave it alone. Guess I could have done that earlier. Let's see, 12 damage, it's not enough. Damn. We're at 9 minutes to 8 a.m. So I'll get ready with my my scanners in a few minutes here. Claw build maybe. Whoops. Claw build. I do have a couple zero costs in Meowth's Fury. The claw build could work. Campfire. Gonna upgrade weakness. Weakness is too strong. More gold. I don't know. The relic could be crappy, and then I'll just have a crappy card on my deck. Not take the elite. We're not strong enough. That guy. W buy, curling back up sort of, but it's not really interesting. So sell first. Skin is good. Kill fast enough is the question. Focus. That's good. Charge battery or another skim. Probably another skim. Five minutes to 8 a.m. This is good if I take it preemptively, if like iteration, if I take certain zero cost cards that kind of work together in a claw build. I'm gonna take that. Hopefully I get some of them that works just for regular mobs like this. So that's 9 damage. Take a burn. Oops, I should have weakened the other guy. That's kind of interesting. Just an 8. I don't need that quite yet. 3. It actually goes to 3 now. Interesting. But it's better to make this 0 cost right now. In case I get all for one on this boss. Just seen what this was first. Extra focus is nice. That's a lot of damage I'm taking. Maybe I should have rested instead of upgrading. Maybe that was a mistake. So it's about 8 a.m. here. So I think I'm dead. I think I'm dead anyway. Yeah, 10, 18 health. They're attacking for 19. I'm just dead. Unless I can skim into something that kills. Dual cast. Kill the front guy. Nope. I'm just dead. Alright, well, we're gonna restart that run. But I got to watch the scanners for news. Does that auto close when I close the game? No, it doesn't. I gotta close that. So let's watch 8 a.m. news. GPU popping up on the scans. We're right at the 200 moving average at 733. It's moving very quickly. I don't know what the news is on it. %67%. Looks like we've got support at 8. I'm going to take a position looking for the pop back up to 850. So just in and out there for that pop. Looks like I ended up selling too soon. It goes all the way up to 10, but now we're too extended. But I still don't know what the news is on this. That's why I'm hesitant to hold. Let me scroll up in the news desk. I still don't see it. What is the news? This is the only annoying thing about day trade dash for me is that sometimes the news on it doesn't come out until like 3 minutes after, like 4 or 5 minutes after, very occasionally. So I have no idea what the catalyst is, and then we see it go up like 150%. This could be a stock with no news. I have no idea. But considering how quickly it's moving, I should have been more aggressive on it. But we're kind of like, I'm not feeling like this is a hot market yet. So I took that pop there, got out at 879, uh, not really expecting it to go parabolic like this because I don't see any news. Looks like Ross took advantage of it though. $47,000 on his trade. This is the part that I'm there we go. There's the news. Now secures 260 million. Oh, it's Nvidia. Yeah, if I had seen this immediately, I would have been way more aggressive. An Nvidia headline for a 260 million contract. But I was thinking like we're around the 200 moving average. It could reject. Like it pops up to 870, but now we're a bit higher priced as well. 1 second left. Let's see. Take a position, stop of 14. Okay. Back out. This is why I don't like higher price stocks. It went down $1 a share like almost instantly, and I lost all of my profits on that first pop. Now that's a bit frustrating. I got in expecting it to go parabolic again because the 1 minute candle just closed with a high of 14. Let's see what happens here though. The Well, it wasn't really a mistake, but first set 4 seconds left. First candle to make a new high is 13. Take a position. We got sellers coming out, so that's max loss times 2. All right. My mistake here was twofold. First mistake, getting in extended up at 14. Well, the first mistake was back here. Because I didn't see the news, I wasn't aggressive enough on this to capture the parabolic momentum. Second mistake, now that it's higher price stock, not expecting it to drop $1 a share instantaneously on the first candle to make a new high on this nice green candle at 14. Third mistake, now getting in with 75 shares is not quarter size for a higher price stock. A higher price stock above $10, quarter size is only 25 shares. Because above $10, you're risking about 50 cents. So up here, 75 shares was fine because I was already up $50 on the day on my first trade. So sizing up was fine, but I needed to cut it quicker. So I needed to cut it at 50 cents rather than $1 a share on 75 shares. But once I lost that money, then I needed to size down here. I was expecting first candle to make a new high, kind of an ABCD pattern here, back up to 14, but it ended up rejecting. So took too big of a size on the trade after I ended up losing money. Not to mention, I mean, I don't usually do well on these higher price stocks. Like it started at 5, that was great. If I had captured the parabolic momentum here, then maybe it was best to wait for a proper entry around support for this higher price stock. But I will admit that I had FOMO on it now after moving, what was it, 150% move on the front side. I wasn't ready to capture that because I thought, this isn't a hot market. And when I looked over at Day Trade Dash and there was no news, but I am just making excuses. So I'm at max loss now, so do I take more trades? The answer is probably no. It's just really disappointing. It does make me question whether or not I'm ready to trade with real money. Part of this was the fact that I'm changing my scaling. Kind of got smoked here because I've been used to trading with 75 shares for so long. Kind of just entered in with 75 shares here without even thinking about the consequences. I traded with that was my keybind Alt A. Alt A in the past was only 37, which was what it was, which was around what my entry would have been for a higher price stock like this before. Yeah, I hope you made money on this, Spooky. You and me both. You and me both. Like right now, uh I'm just flabbergasted right now at myself. That perfectionist personality in me popped out the moment. Yeah. So I jumped in um at 8 here because I recognized that this was a good pullback. This was at 8:01. I recognized that this was a good pullback, a good dip to get in on. But I sold too soon because I saw that there was no news. Like I looked at the news desk and I looked at Day Trade Dash and I'm like, well, what is the catalyst on this thing? And we've kind of been in a cold market all day between today and yesterday. So I'm like, well, I'm just going to take profit at 870 because, I don't know if this has a catalyst and it could just reverse at any time. And it popped up like to 870. Usually when it pops up that fast, it'll like, it'll come back down as shorts push it back down because it pops up so quickly. You see that like little bit of a topping tail up at 920. You can't really, well, I guess that popped up, sold at 870 like almost immediately. But from that moment forward, after it continued like just skyrocketing, that perfectionist personality in me came out and I started getting flustered. Thinking like, well, I don't want to get back in. There's no news. I don't know what the news is. And it got to me. As soon as I saw the opportunity for first candle to make a new high on the 1 minute, I got back in and got smoked. Right here. 14 down to 13. And then this other trade here. This was definitely an emotional trade at 806 after getting smoked. Hoping that first candle to make a new high would get some of that profit back going up to 14. That was definitely an emotional trade. Oh man. So right now it's curling back up to 14. It's holding the 9 EMA. The worst thing about this that just makes me feel awful. This kind of goes in line with what I said about trading with Weeble earlier, about how like if it's my fault, or if it's the platform's fault, then I would just be mad. If I had saw that it was an Nvidia contract for $260 million, like immediately at 801 at this first pullback, I would not have sold immediately. Like I would have been aggressive on this as it was going parabolic, probably all the way up, and then I'd be up so much on the day. But I just lacked information because the news headline didn't appear on Day Trade Dash until like it was already at the top. Ross still took advantage of it. Like Ross, I don't know, maybe someone in chat mentioned to him that what the news headline was. I didn't have the sound open or anything. But I was looking on the news desk and I didn't see it. I would have added here. So I would have probably sold half, a 10. Probably added back on this first pullback as it was holding 10. First candle to make a new high. Probably sold the rest here around 13. Just a combination of factors just led me to take this $113 loss on a stock that's up almost 200%. So, what triggered me? No news, but going up parabolic. So that was kind of FOMO. Taking a big loss. Taking that $75 loss and going from green to red immediately after being up like 50 bucks on the first trade. All right. I'll consider. I'll continue sitting here just for stream. And maybe point out potential trades that I would take, but $113 loss means that I'm double my max loss. So I can't really take any more trades. If I were to try and simulate me trading with real money, that would be a max loss and I can't take any more. I'm actually gonna make some notes here on the side about what happened. All right, I have some notes on it. But every time something like this happens, I'm gonna take some notes about what happened so that this doesn't happen again. So inherently, higher price stocks for me are going to be riskier. I need to make sure that if I get in them, I'm getting in them with very small size. So the ideal size for this was about 25 to 50 shares as quarter size. I need to recognize that whenever a big move like this happens and I don't capitalize on it, I need to just chill out. Like I need to relax, not let my emotions get to me, and just jump in on first candle to make a new high like this. Because this was like support. I got in at 14. Support was all the way down at 11. So it had the potential to drop 3 points before it reaches support. That's extremely risky, me getting in up here. I just wasn't thinking. I was thinking, well, it went parabolic. I don't want to miss the next leg of the move because I already missed the first leg. Like if I miss the second leg, then that's FOMO. That's FOMO talking. Not it's not logical. Right here, we have a shooting star candle after this rejection. Why on earth would I jump back in thinking that first candle to make a new high was going to go back up to 14 when we're not even near support? This is just stair stepping down. I got in with 75 shares, which is not quarter size after I made that loss. So that's my analysis of what happened. The only thing I can do is be happy that it occurred in the simulator and I can fix these mistakes before I go live with real money. So I said I would go live with real money in May. I'm gonna monitor how I'm doing while in this drawdown because this is a big drawdown. This first trade on W buy is not going to be a part of my metrics because it's a penny stock experiment. So today's loss is 113. That's losing back half of the profits that I made in the past month while in a cold market. And if this were real money and I were trading with commissions, I'd probably be back to zero right now because half of my profits would have been eaten by commissions and half of my profits were um, just eaten by this. So we're basically back to square one. But there is a positive note to this if I think about it differently. I think about it in a different light here and think about it as if we're back to break even. What's changed now is I'm still working with different position sizing and scaling than when I first started the challenge. So it's possible that it's going to be faster for me to snowball if I can take advantage of things and not get emotional. When I first started trading with this account size, I was trading with $1,000 theoretical account. Now I'm trading with a $2,000 theoretical account. I have been since Monday, but we haven't seen any opportunities since Monday, really. Well, Monday, there was an opportunity on Monday. I just messed it up with my keybinds. I would have been green on that day. But I'm going to continue monitoring myself. If I continue making mistakes, then of course I'm not ready to go live with money. But I may do it anyway just for entertainment purposes on stream, and see how my emotions are trading with real money compared to the simulator once again. Clearly, I mean, even though I'm trading in a simulator, I'm still feeling emotions and still causing me to mess up. What I need to ask myself is, how can I recognize these emotions are happening before they cause me to jump into a trade? I think the more I see that these situations happening, the more I can recognize similar situations that occur in the future that can cause me to it can get me to take my hands off the keyboard. So if I don't capitalize on a big move again, like this big parabolic move, because I'm uncertain about something, then I need to be cautious. Especially after something moves this much, it can be really overextended, so I should be cautious anyways, logically speaking, but emotionally speaking as well, if it goes parabolic like this. And we need to rein ourselves in. That was trigger one, this FOMO. Trigger two, whenever I take a big loss and go flip from green to red like that. I was up $50 and I flipped. I recognize that as a trigger before, one of my past triggers. That's why I had that rule where I'm supposed to kind of do a self-reflection if I lose half back, but I didn't do that. It's in my strategy. I lose half back, half of my peak profits back. If I reach daily goal and I lose half that back, I'm supposed to do a self-evaluation before I take any more trades. But I lost, and then I immediately entered a trade, hoping to enter it back, get it back. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't have anything else to say other than I got smoked. I'm actually gonna open the news desk and check when that headline released. I still don't see it even now. I don't see where it is in the news desk. A GPU. I don't see it. We're gonna move forward. We're not giving up. We are continuing on here. This is a little bit of a shock to my system though, because we haven't had a real parabolic breaking news setup like this since like January, as far as I can recall. But I've been mostly for a while I was mostly focusing on my View app setups. So I wasn't really trading breaking news too often even back then when it was hot, but then we ended up in a cold market for 2 months where there weren't really opportunities to just be super aggressive on a breaking news stock. It's a bit of a shock that this happened today. Like looking at this theoretically speaking, like this is really a perfect demonstration of my theory. Buy the first pullback, sell half. Buy the second pullback, sell half. And by the third pullback, it was kind of the move was kind of over. It did pop up an extra 50 cents up to 14 here on the third pullback, but first, second pullback were the cleanest moves. Third pullback was a bit more extended here. This is the false breakout. First candle to make a new high. besides this topping tail here that kind of popped up to 1128, came all the way back down to 9. Just wondering how I can take advantage of these, even if there's no news. Because this was basically trading with no news. Like there was no information here for me to 802. It was only until it reached this pullback that the news popped up. I could see what it was. Like how do you trust that it's not going to reverse on you if you don't know what the catalyst is? Just by the fact that it went from 4 to 8 in an instant. It goes up 4 points and it must have news because there's no reason for it to go up that much in a short period of time other than the fact that it has some sort of catalyst. Maybe take advantage of the fact that it's moving quickly. Hmm. So that's enough mulling over that. What I'm going to do is I've reached my max loss, right? $113 is double my max loss. So if I were trading with real money, it would be a stop right here. And I'm confident that I would follow that rule if I were trading with real money. So what I will do is if anything else pops up, if I trade it, I'm trading it for experience, but I remove it from my metrics. Just to keep the stream going, keep it entertaining. If there's anything else that pops up, I'll trade it, but it's being removed from any of my metrics because if this were real money, it's max loss time and I would be forced to walk away because I recognize that I am emotionally compromised after that. So I wouldn't be taking any more trades with real money, but if there's anything else that pops up with news, I'll trade it just to see. I'm sure that there's going to be some FOMO after that move for a lot of people. People are going to be jumping in to other stocks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to practice trying to be aggressive on stocks as they're being parabolic. But today, whether I trade more or not, is going to be a $113 red day. So this stock, AGPU, it's on the backside of the move now. MACD crossed over and we had a double top rejection. At some point, it may come and curl back up to the highs, but we're not trading it until it does show signs of curling. So, but for now, we're leaving it alone. We have, it's 8:45 right now. I don't see any other stocks that have any news. It's interesting. So what we're gonna do is we're just waiting until 9. I'll see if there's any news at 9. If there's no news at 9, then I'm just gonna shut it down because it's unlikely that we're gonna get anything at 9:15. And it would be a max loss day anyways, so I'd be walking away at this point if it were real money. I think I'm gonna make a rule that if it's a high price stock, then I can only trade it with quarter size. If it's above $10, then I'm only trading with quarter size. I'm not trading it with anything other than quarter size. Because these high price stocks are the ones that smoke me the worst every single time. Anything above $10 is always just absolutely wrecks me. And I tend to get emotional on them. We jackknife down $1 a share in an instant. Like, how quick was that? I'm just curious. Maybe it was not as fast as I thought it was. But within one 10-second candle here, it went from 14 down to 12.93. So over $1 a share, $1.30. This one here went from 13 down to 12, so $1 a share. So I have to account for that. So for anything above $10, if I don't have a cushion, my starter position should be 25 shares. If I have a cushion, my starter position should be 50 shares. $0.50 on 50 shares is $25. So my cushion should be if it's size up goal, if it's like $15, then that's okay. I think going down to -10, that's not too bad. And if it drops 50 shares instantly, then I won't be like too sad about cutting it. If it's a 25 share starter position and it goes down 50 cents, then that's 12.5 bucks. So normally speaking, if I take 75 shares, let me open up the calculator. $75 shares. My average loss, let's say it's 10 cents. 7.5 bucks. Let's say to be conservative, it's 15 cents. It's 11 bucks. So if I take size on stocks above $10, 25 shares would be roughly about what I might lose on average on a lower price stock. That makes sense. Sorry, I'm just working through my sizing here. In fact, maybe I should just pull up the sheet to show on stream here. I'll show exactly what my mistake was. So Excel. So I have a bunch of Excel sheets that I usually come up with to go through my strategy and exactly how much position sizing I should take. Trading notes, Excel sheets, trading calculator sheet. OBS. Trading recaps, and we can go to close a chart, close a presentation, no trader view. So there we go. I'll just show this. So this is how I calculate my position sizing and risk based on my account size. I enter my account size up here in the yellow square. You can pretty much ignore all of this. It's just contextual information that I've used in the past. I don't really use this upper portion much anymore. What's important is the account size, which is 2000. The Excel sheet updates depending on this. So if it's 1000, the data changes. The idea is you have a max position size and you have quarter position size. Over here we have our hot market and cold market and daily goals and dollar amounts and max loss and all that. But so my position sizing is based on the amount of risk, account size risk I want to take for the position. The average stop that I expect, that I would like to, like including slippage and whatnot, this is the average stop that I would expect on a stock of that price. So if I'm trading $1 stocks, then my stop is 5 cents on average. Trading $2 stocks, it's 10 cents on average, and 3 to 7 is about 20 cents. 7 to 9 is 25, and 10 to 20 is 50 cents. So we have max position size based on that, which is count size, right, multiplied by our risk factor. So how much are we willing to risk? I'm willing to risk 3% of my account size per trade as, as a maximum position size, divided by our stop. So that calculates our maximum position size. Quarter position size is just our max position size divided by 4 times 0.25. Target is for risk reward purposes. So on a $1 stock, you can reasonably expect it to move 10 cents per share on a breakout. So that gives us a 2-to-1 profit to loss ratio. On a $2 stock, you can expect it to move 20 cents. On a $3 to $7 stock, you can expect it to move 40 cents. And maybe like 50 cents on 7 to 9. And then above $10, you can expect it to move dollars per share. So this kind of calculates both risk reward, what my first targets are for these type of prices, and what my position sizing should be. Based on my rules, unless I have a $15 cushion on the day, then I should be trading with quarter size. So I take a quarter size starter position on, depending on the price range. If it's $3, $3 to $6, and the starter position is 75 shares. If it's 7 to 9, it's 50 shares. And if it's 10 to 20, it's 25 shares. Between 3 to 9, I've kind of just been taking 75 shares across the board as a starter position because it's been colder recently, so it's less volatile. So they kind of, even though I have different risk rewards calculated for these, kind of been taking about the same amount. But the only problem is that if I take bigger share size on some of these 7 to 9, I would still have to take, if I were to take max position size, I would still have to, abide by that in the simulator because you would need a bigger account size to trade more than 200 shares. I can't go above 200 shares. But my mistake here was, so I took back when at the beginning of the move there, on the stock that we just traded, I took 75 shares as a starter position, which was correct. I took it at 8, a little bit high. I should have taken 50 shares according to my sheet there, but like I said, I kind of just trade 75 shares across the board as my starter for 3 to 9 just to keep it consistent. But once it reached over $10, that's where I should have sized down. So I took 75 shares, which is basically almost my max position size off the bat in a very risky situation. So instead of taking a half size starter and then scaling up as the trade works, I took almost a full size position. Not quite, but it was almost a full size position, just trading 75 shares. Because I didn't think about the transition between, I was still thinking like, oh, well, I was trading this back when it was $8 and it spiked from $4. I'm just going to continue trading the same size. I didn't think about the risk that we would have up at, I think it was $14 per share. So I was trading with pretty close to max size and I got smoked. and I immediately went red like 20 bucks. And then the following trade after that, where I jumped back in because I was hoping, not expecting, hoping. I was hoping for first candle to make a new high to go back up to 14. I jumped in with 75 shares again. Because I just took a loss, I wanted to make it back. But according to my rules, now that I was red on that trade that flipped me from green to red, I should be taking a 25 share position. If I had taken a 25 share position on that last trade and took another $1 per share loss, then I would be at my max loss and be at 50 bucks. Then I'd be done for the day, and I wouldn't be at double my max loss, which is what it is right now, $113, over double my max loss because I took too big of size. So given what just happened, what I'm going to do going forward is I am for stocks over $10, because this isn't the first occurrence where I've had something like this happen on a high price stock. I've had this happen in the past. What I'm going to do going forward is if it's above $10, it's quarter size. Always quarter size starter. If I have a cushion on the day, and it's a significant cushion, maybe if it's at least 15, but ideally if it's like 25 bucks. So if I lose $1, $1 per share, then I won't be going super into the red. In fact, maybe I should increase the stop size on these. If it's above $10, maybe it should be 0.75. Assuming I lose 75 cents on the trade. On average. It's a bit of an awkward share size. 17. Max position size is 67 for a $2,000 account. I can't really make keybinds to accommodate that. I could. Maybe I reduce my position size down to 20. So 20 shares, let's say the stock is $14 like where I entered before. And I enter a position with 20 shares. Like let's make the hotkey 20 shares. And it starts working in my favor. Maybe I can add 20 shares. So it's just one button hotkey. So 20 shares, if it works, I can add 20, 20. So I can add twice up to a position size of about 60. I could think of it like that. Or I could just follow the sheet. Just make it this weird number, 17 shares. And it would be, since it's quarter size, maybe I just keep it consistent. Or 4 button clicks is max size. Starter is 1 button click. Half size is 2 button click. Full size is 4 button click. And maybe I should keep that consistent across the board. I'm going to think about this a bit more. I'm going to think about it. If I can make it so that it is consistent, how many buttons I'm clicking and which buttons I'm clicking depending on the price, That would be easier. It would kind of be instinctual. Other, these are my current hotkeys on the side that I have set up. So 75A. So this is Shift A, by the way. It has Shift on it, but oh wait, why do I have two there? 75 Shift A. Oh no, sorry. These are Alt modifiers. So Alt A is 75 shares. So hotkey, just enter at the ask, whatever price it is. Shift A is my load. So I load 75 shares and I manually enter in the price. And same thing with Q and Shift Q. So Alt Q is just enter the trade with 150 shares no matter what price, like 10, 20 cents above the ask. Shift Q is load 150 shares. Then I have to press the enter key, buy button. And W and Shift W is the same. So Alt W right now. So what I should have used to enter the trade was Alt W. And Shift W is load 50 shares. So this was intended to be like, this is max position size, or this should be the starter position, sorry, for a $10 stock. The idea was starter position of half if you have a cushion and then add twice, but I don't know. I'm gonna think about this more. But it is 9 a.m. here, and there's no more news that I can see. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to shut it down here. I doubt there's going to be news at 9:15. We've been quiet all day except for this particular stock. I'm not trading at the open. I'm just going to eat this loss. It gave me a good kick in the teeth that I needed before I go live with real money. And, you know, it keeps me from being complacent when I go live with real money and having stuff like this happen. And it makes me question whether or not I am in fact ready to go live with real money. So perhaps if I start losing money live, I should tighten up. I should really tighten up that the amount that I'm willing to lose before I come back to the simulator. Maybe instead of a quarter, maybe it should be a fifth. If I lose a quarter, would have been 500 bucks. Fifth would be what, like 400 bucks? Maybe it should even be a tenth. Maybe if I lose 200 bucks back, I go back to the simulator. But that's still for consideration. That's in May. We'll see how I deal with this drawdown in the days going forward. But I think I'm going to end it here. Thank you to Spooky and whoever else is watching today. I'll be back at it tomorrow, same time, but with my strategy update a little bit. But until then, take care, stay safe, don't lose your money like I did. Well, my simulated money, and I'll see you tomorrow.